Today we're with Mike G. Mike G, aka the Poet of Steel. Hi, today we're with Mike G, aka the Poet of Steel, and we're at Hanh, right off of 82nd Avenue, and we have a Buddha bowl and a vegetarian omelet in front of us. Let's do this.
Let's do this.
My name is Ian Caton.
I'm Mike G.
And you are watching Poets in Portland
Eating
food. Let's do this. You're watching Poets
Eating food.
in Portland
Eating food.
I'm Mike G. This is my wife Brenda. These are our morning glories. Behold, those are our marigolds. These are whatever they are. Cherry tomatoes.
Oh, beautiful.
Bigger tomatoes.
Oh, tomatoes are going to be so good this year because there's so much sunshine.
Oh, this is the neighbor's eggplant.
Hey, this is Mike G. About to eat some lunch with Ian. Isn't that nice? Let's do this.
We are at
We're going to eat some
Hanh.
Vietnamese vegetarian food. It should be good. Trying to go healthy. The last that's a good angle.
Look at that beautiful blue sky.
I know, that's amazing. I hope that comes through.
It's an
Oh, it's recording right now.
That's an amazing sky. It's recording right now.
Oh,
Look
the
at
sky
that.
just went away.
Oh, it went away.
There it goes. Let's come back.
There we go. Murdered the dandelion forest we made love in to prevent an extinction, eviction, event. The moon doesn't gut the mind, the sunshine does.
All right, Mike G. So I met you about, 7 years ago, and this was at a great bookstore in Vancouver, Washington, which is a very rare thing because I think Vancouver has 3 bookstores,
Yes.
and 2 of them are comic book stores.
Wow.
So there's not very many bookstores in
Cover to
Vancouver.
cover books.
But it was cover to cover books is where I met you.
Yes.
Reading at an open mic called
Ghost Town.
Ghost Town Poetry. So when I listen to some of your poetry and I read some of what you wrote, I think a lot about science fiction and is sci-fi any kind of influence on you at all?
Oh yeah, actually the first sort of adult stuff I ever read, probably around age 11 or 12, was all the Isaac Asimov Foundation series and Robot series.
I never read Isaac Asimov. I was like a Piers Anthony guy. And he was so childish, that's why I liked him. He was like C.S. Lewis and Piers Anthony. He did the Xanth series. It's pretty childish. It's good if you're in 6th grade or 7th grade.
Yeah, the Asimov stuff was it was like
He's one of the heavies though, isn't he?
one of the biggies, along with like Robert Heinlein, Stranger in a Strange Land.
Yeah.
So yeah, sci-fi. I've always loved it, and just fuels the imagination. And it's what poetry is for me. It's just like having fun with your imagination.
So who were some of your first influences for poetry? When you first started writing, maybe 20 years old,
Oh yes.
who were you reading?
Oh, T.S. Eliot,
Okay.
the Proof Rock, The Wasteland, The Hollow Men, and Peaceful,
Cats.
all that stuff. No. I've ushered Cats, but no, I haven't read his Practical Cats book. All those modernists like Yeats, Ezra Pound, William Carlos Williams.
Okay.
Then I got into the beats like
Yeah.
Ginsberg,
Yeah.
Kerouac, and Walt Whitman, probably a big time influence.
So all the white men.
Yeah, pretty much.
So there's a lot of poets out there in Brooklyn, New York that I'm just like, I want to go to New York because there's such an amazing, there's so much opportunity out there, and there's so many great writers out there that are doing just amazing things. But at the same time, I want to bring what they're doing in Brooklyn to Portland because, or bring the what work that we're doing in Portland to Brooklyn because I think what we're doing here is so amazing. It's so exciting.
All I pretty much know is the Portland scene and the Vancouver, Washington scene, and I'm very happy with it. But when I hear of a writer who's writing great things in their 20s and 30s, I'm amazed. I'd pretty much be okay if I burnt almost everything I wrote before age 40 now.
Because like when I turned 27, I think I was in 1999, and it was the first time I got out of the United States, and I finally wrote a poem that I loved. That it was like positive, that wasn't like negative, wasn't like...
And angsty.
Yeah, it wasn't like the world's, you know, this is awful. It wasn't, and it wasn't misogynistic.
Woe is me.
No, and it wasn't like, you know, I thought I was happy with it. It was like, but it wasn't like,
mature work.
So the first 10 years of my writing, I think, are just junk. Like I look back
Juvenilia.
Juvenile.
Yeah.
And I look back at some of my earlier stuff and I'm like, oh my gosh, it's
we
so
have
bad.
to write the junk in order to mature. If we stick with it long enough, maybe we'll mature.
Our food is here.
2013.
Oh, that's the Buddha Bowl. That looks delicious.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. The Buddha Bowl.
Put that on the screen.
Oh yeah, we need to see this. This is Mike G's Buddha Bowl. Thank you. This is Mike G's Buddha Bowl. It looks like there's some green things and some cooked things.
It's all vegetarian.
It's all vegetarian because Mike G is all about health now. I used to be a gas station hot dog kind of poet in my 20s. In my 30s, I graduated to slightly better gas station hot dogs. Now, I've totally changed. Vegetables, don't drink, don't smoke. What do? Poetry. Let's do this.
All right, so it looks like Mike G has gotten his balls a Buddha Bowl. I don't exactly know what's in there. It's not a soup.
Man. This looks like...
It looks like there's the makings of a soup without the broth.
Cucumber.
But that's not broth.
I have no idea what this is.
I think that's a dipping sauce. I think you're supposed to dip whatever you have inside of there.
Let's see what this is. There's probably a poem inside here, folks. Mmm.
And then there's looks like rice noodles with some peanut sauce.
Rice noodles.
I'm getting jealous. That's what I should have ordered.
Peanuts.
All right, so what is that sauce you have there? It's
Well,
like
it's
some
like
carrots
kinda
in
like
there.
there's some carrots. I think we have some radish. It's kind of like maybe a plum kind of sauce. I don't know what it is.
And you're pouring it on the noodles?
I'm pouring it on the noodles right now, and I'm dipping.
Because I thought it was more of like a dip thing. You would kind of dip your food into it.
You know, I really don't know what I'm doing. I'm a poet who's struggling to go beyond gas station hot dogs here for the
Wearing a
first
Jaws
time.
t-shirt.
For the first time in my life. So wish me luck. I love my Buddha Bowl. I'm gonna write a poem about it.
The poet of steel does vegetables.
Poet of Steel does vegetables. You know, this reminds me when I was walking this afternoon, my morning walk, because I take morning walks now. I looked up into the sky and I saw that streak of clouds. I don't want to get all conspiratorial today, but it was a chemtrail, folks. The chemtrail drips nanoparticulates into the coffee cup.
I'm meditating while I'm eating.
My omelet is getting quickly devoured. But luckily I have this huge salad in front of me also.
Whatever God is, that which is deepest and oldest in me and most. So I was going to be a minister in what I thought was God's true church.
Yeah.
So it was like a kind of legalistic, Old Testament-y.
Were you more of an Old Testament guy or more of a New Testament guy?
Old Testament guy. I was that old school. So we like Leviticus 23 we took seriously. So like unclean meats, no shrimp, and that was too bad. But unfortunately, my conscience was ripping at me because there were already some scandals in the church, and I dropped out and became a poet. But I think the difference between preacher and performing poet is a very small difference indeed. It's simply a difference in what you accentuate. So I came to write my own scriptures and deliver them.
You do not know what the words of Mike G have provoked in you. You only know that you have been provoked to a greater action. It might be like a time release capsule. You do not know what Mike G has planted in you. But in 2 months, 5 weeks, and 67 seconds, you're about to find out. So let us give a warm Wildwood welcome right now to the one and only Mike G!
Yeah! Can you be my life coach? I need a life coach. Thank you. That was the most inspiring thing I've ever heard. Thanks, Jennifer. This is for my friend Hannah, who's here tonight. Thank you. The loneliest alien needed a toilet. Come on in, I said. Bring your poems and your friends. She flushed, then barked with great ecumenical gusts from the pulpit, in which she constituted her own swollen weather system, engulfing everyone. None of my beloveds went missing or killed themselves yet this year. Hashtag Miracle Optimism 2019. The holographic alien invasion televised sky came with microwave popcorn discounts for the courtyard dissidents. Any questions? If they would have given me a genetic test when I was a little baby, the 10-year-old says, and found the poet DNA, they may have thrown me away. Hashtag Black Pill Truth. I tried to write a poem quiet as a lotus floating on a pond at dawn in some place like Alabama I've never gone. I'll add a green frog croaking apologies for what I've done wrong and tears for what youth was. A confused crescent coming to grips with the gibbous to be, and grasshoppers chirping thank you for not killing ourselves. And maybe I'll add a cloud, soft and white but not happy, for happiness was not the point. A meaningful drift of light, aging towards light night, more or less okay. That's the poem I wanted to write, but let's face it, I'm not mature enough to write that yet. Maybe when I'm 80. And here's an example of what I'm mature enough to write now. Groupon, a nutcracker love orgy story. Woo! Boundaries get a little blurry on the second balcony sometimes. Smells like a barn in here. Piles of hay, urine heavy, the clomp of donkey hooves. Usher Albert eyes the elevator operator with a giving up shrug. There's a disco ball. And Denny Terrio, what are you doing hanging from a toe, naked from a light fixture? Spinning to dance fever with 100 drunks puking to the Sugar Plum Fairy. Up here in the end-time penthouse turned outhouse, no one is committed. Ain't seen such length and girth since an 1890 circus. The tiara-wearing, ancient glittering eyes grandma said. The elevator operator decides not to report the situation, just take notes and dodges the globs of viscous fluid. Yeah. Meanwhile, the mystery as to why males have nipples continues, the 10-year-old says.
So would you say you're more of like a Psalms kind of guy or like a Proverbs kind of guy?
Well, Proverbs seem a bit too tidy and wise for the kind of struggle that my poems go through. So I say Psalms, kind of like joyful, ecstatic, grotesque songs. I mean, all of that in there. Christmas lights.
So when did you start using the harmonica? Because when I first met you 7 years ago, you weren't using a harmonica, but it was like a rumor that there was a harmonica, that there was a musical aspect to the Mike G readings.
Just realizing how disgusting this is. I need to clean this. We just got done filming Let's Do This, Poets Eating Food. We had such a great time. It's a perfect day. 82nd Avenue, Avenue of Roses.
This is real Portland right here.
This is real. This is the real deal Portland right here.